Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of Local Live on WMSE, broadcasting live tonight from Anodyne on Bruce Street in Walker's Point. Tonight's broadcast is also being live streamed. You can watch along at WMSE.org as well as on WMSE's YouTube and Vimeo channels.
Local Live is presented by Third Space Brewing. You have your home, you have your work, but everyone needs a third space. Now, please, to all the folks gathered here tonight and to all of you listening and watching, let's give it up. Let's give a warm welcome to our musical guest tonight, the one, the only, you know him, you love him, Eric Blowtorch and the Bodyguards.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you.
You're welcome.
Lonely, libido's low, fishnet fair game. Nighttime, right time, see her in the theater, see her and you weep for your teenage malcontent. What once was titled teenagers now know as spent, and wander through lonely ledges across your great country. Register radio, late night convenience store, missing someone very far away. Cry for her, lie for her. Try to reach her. Spelling the service should teach you, and you weep for the heroic father you never knew, and weep for your daytime life you lost, and wander through deserted drags across your great country. Try to go to sleep tonight, wishing you knew what was at the backs of the minds of all your dearest friends aren't always our friends. Try to go to sleep. Wow, thank you. That's from the first LP, Shame a Politician. For that one, Robin Plur was kind enough to lend us her Korg keyboard. And you could probably tell when you listen to that one, especially that recording, that Billy Bragg's The Myth of Trust was on the brain a lot in those days. It's a newer one in hope of good things to come meteorologically. 2215 hour, middle of June, dog barking yard, your servant sleeps soon. You gave us this day, don't take it away, can't take it away. block playing football and foos. Sun is sinking, getting to the house. It's 5 o'clock, bread, fruit, and bag joust. For eating, drinking, I'm eating alone. Watching the sky, no telephone, just the summer sounding out. Supper is over, splashing, scraping, the youth's getting older. Voices changing, dominoes crack, locusts kissing, croakers they clack. Hammer is hissing, cabinets thunder, miles away. The wooden, I wonder why summer must go away. Let us pray and give thanks for every day. Keep a summer song in your heart and replay September through May. Whispering breeze, the rustle of leaves, transistors playing, the splash of night rain. We're gonna get tan up here when that summer sun comes along. That's a new one, written with Nate Vest from the Welders. Thanks to Nate for his great encouragement for that one. And a little bit of translation. Croakers is what Jamaicans call geckos. A lot of folks down there are really deathly afraid of them. And what else? Cabinets. Oh, that's meant to mean sound system. Bass bins. Yeah. That's all.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You probably did.
Thank you for this information. I want to say welcome to our guest host, Matt Wild.
Oh, hi.
Aaron is away.
Oh, no. Don't do that. No, you don't need to do that. Thank you.
Great to have you here. And Eric, let's talk a little bit about your epic triple album from last year. Quality Items got a lot of play on WMSE airwaves, of course.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Featuring your backing band, The Inflammables, which is one of at least 6 different ensembles that you're associated with that we know of.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Do you have a Rolodex of band names that you pluck these out of?
Actually, I just started one. It's, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, fold in half, then fold that in half, and then tear off one of the quarters. It's like bassists and drummers.
I wonder if Spinal Tap could have benefited from
they might have done. But there's a lot of overlap, too. For example, on the Flame On album, the second album, that's a combination of the Revelation Rockers and the Superpowers, just under the aegis of the Superpowers. Yeah.
Okay. Could you introduce the Bodyguards to us?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. This is George Ballesteros on bass.
Good evening, everybody.
And my partner some years now in the Bodyguards, Mr. Richard Curran on drum kit. Rich and I have written a couple of these numbers together.
One thing about the Quality Items record from last year, as Cal mentioned, it was a triple album, which is pretty rare. And when I reviewed it for Milwaukee Record, not only did I listen to it, I weighed it on a scale, which I feel, is very important to weigh local releases by weight.
Yes.
Your record came in at a hefty 1 pound and 5 ounces.
I remember that.
It wasn't the heaviest one that I weighed, but it was awfully close.
No, it was brilliant. And I think I asked you, had you seen Lester Banks' review of Chicago, the Carnegie Hall concert?
That's right.
Which is like, what, eight LPs in one box with a booklet. And he said, anyone who says this album isn't heavy just doesn't know his math.
That's right. So yeah, yours, like I said, came in over a pound. Now, do you see yourself releasing a possibly heavier record in the future?
Yeah, I do. But I really, really, really wish someone would come through with an alternative to polyvinyl chloride. It's just, I'm a vinyl guy. I'm a DJ. Most of my stuff I buy used, but it is terrible to be enthralled to something that's destroying the planet. Although it'd be nice if petroleum eventually just went to making records. So yeah, you could call me out on that. Feel free.
What about lead? Could we carve records into lead? That would be heavier.
I think I heard of a glass one. I think Duran Jones and the Indication did a glass edition of one of their records.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be a collector's item.
Yeah, probably a carbon footprint on that one as well.
So I think we're ready for a couple more tunes now that you got the band all up there, shall we?
Yeah, I'd like to dedicate this one to Reentry Legal Services at Legal Action of Wisconsin. It's called Too Many Dues. What does a brother have to do to reap respect already due? To stop the spiteful spew, to not be turning blue. How many sheeps must a mother turn before the right to live she can earn? From lambing's low to learn. How many bodies must burn? Jacob Blake is looking at the lake, feeling the 100-year ache, hoping the treatments take change and an anime. Reputation at stake. RLSU made the earthquake. Grateful to be awake. What does a brother have to do to reap respect already due? Climbing the top of spew, to not be turning blue. How many cheeks must a mother turn for the right to live she can earn? From lemmings low to learn. How many bodies must burn? Breonna Taylor was a healer, but the jailer just had invader, viciously a sailor. Every day to the cross we nail her. The great experiment is a fail. What does a brother have to do to reap respect already due? Life to stifle spew, not be turning blue. How many cheeks must mother turn before the right to live she can earn? From lemmings low to learn. How many bodies must burn? How innocent do we have to be? One stone sling at a sea. Hydrogen humanity in the American cemetery. What does a brother have to do to reap respect already due? Stop the spiteful spew, not be turned to glue. How many cheeks must mother turn for the right to live she can earn? Frightful, fatal stern. How many bodies must burn? Thank you. Thank you. How many indeed. This next one is called Sanctuary City. And I'd like to dedicate this to the churches, the communities, and the brave people who give people from Yemen and Syria, Ukraine, the Sudan, Central America, South America, all over Africa, particularly the Center for Victims of Torture in Minneapolis and St. Paul, for giving these people hope and life. Okay, please don't. Clouds under the caravan. Poor passengers don't stop. Running from dictator man. Running from the mob. Come on. Lift your heart up over the wall. Sanctuary city awaits. Sanctuary city open its gates. City without borders. City takes no orders. Your baby child defense on your every step and breath. Eat and sleep wherever you can. Can't stop Latinx progress. Come on, come on. Lift your heart, crack open the wall. Over the wall. Sanctuary city awaits. Sanctuary city open its gates. City without borders. The city takes no orders. Gunmen on the other side. Maybe love and amnesty too. Sanctuary city opens. Millions of arms to you. Sanctuary city awaits. Sanctuary city open its gates. City without borders. City takes no orders. Sanctuary city awaits. Sanctuary city open its gates. City without borders. The city takes no orders. Sanctuary. Sanctuary city. We're waiting for you. Come on, come on, come on. We ain't taking no orders, baby. That's what Julie Wood said. Liz Vaturan said. The other side. The other side. And Cookie Johnson, well. Gunmen, gunmen. Throw down your guns. Amen. You know how. Steady and rock, he said. Sanctuary city awaits. Sanctuary city. The city takes no orders. Thanks very much. We had the pleasure of recording that with Julie Wood, the amazing vocalist and saxophonist, Lisbeth Duran, the amazing vocalist, Cookie Johnson, the amazing vocalist, and some other characters. And the one before, Too Many Dues, is coming out on 45. Should have it in hand later this month, but you know how vinyl is backed up, right?
Yes,
that,
yes.
That one's going to have Norwood Fisher, Angela Moore, and Chris Dowd from Fishbone singing on it with us.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. It'll be exciting because, you know, I haven't heard, so many of us Fishbone fans, which I assume includes a lot of you, we have not heard those beautiful harmonies coming out of our sound systems in a long time. And they've been playing live for the last, 3 years now with almost the entire original lineup. So very excited to be part of their roaring back into action.
Very nice. Now it's interesting that you mentioned that, and kind of hearing the last two sets have been very different. The first set you did solo, now you've got the band, and you're talking about, doing other stuff with the band. I think that's kind of like a snapshot, it seems to me, of your career. I mean, going back to, I think it was your 2011 record, The Promise of Power, which I think you're going to play some selections from that later tonight. That's just you and a guitar.
Yeah, that was write an album in a month. Write and record an album in a month week. A month that year. I don't think that month has ever been repeated.
Because that was recorded just in a few days, according to the liner notes on that.
Yeah, it was at home. And then Shane Olivo at Shane Olivo Recording, which is called Bobby Peru Recording at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Shane did this a really exciting thing called Reamping. You guys know about this, right?
No.
You basically plug your guitar into the recording. You just play it straight with no amplifier. You go straight to tape. Well, that sound can be a very bland sound. Amplifiers are part of what give electric guitars character, right? Well, I knew that Shane had the ability to play the recording that I made on my little 4-track analog cassette deck, and then go out of the guitar track, just plug a chord into that track, play that back through a guitar amplifier, and I could sit there messing with the controls, actually, getting the guitar sound I wanted, as opposed to taking it on faith, which is how you usually do it when you're recording. And usually you're on a clock, right? So that was probably one of my first big adventures with Reamping. Credit where due, Paul Seabar and the Milwaukeeans. They were doing it back in '93 with, I think, Round Every Corner. Remember, I went to see him recording it at the 411 building, and I walked in, and Peter Roller, I thought, was in the guitar booth. There's just Peter's amplifier and a microphone, and I can hear his part coming through the amp and through the microphone. So, does that make sense?
It does make sense, yeah.
And it sounded brilliant.
Now, do you have a preferred way of working? I mean, or does the material dictate whether it's just you and a guitar or you and the band? What's the decision-making process for that?
Well, economics usually comes first, and the availability of players. One real bright spot throughout the pandemic has been more musicians getting home recording equipment. So a lot of the people that I've, with Julie Wood, we must have recorded 20 songs together already, in the last year and a half or so. And she works incredibly quickly, and you can learn the stuff. You can use it really quickly. Just here's the track. Here's what you're playing. Bonk, record, and so that has changed drastically the way I record. Unfortunately, there's something about the studio, and something especially about Shane Olivo, who has been my right-hand man, my ace since 1996. That I'm spending less time with Shane. And that's, you lose something there. I mean, it's very, very rare that a band, that I've been able to get a band in and just have the rhythms, at least have the rhythm section play the guts of the song, There's click tracks and things like that. It seems very artificial. So yeah, doing a solo record, of course, there's less of that. And so there's more danger involved. I like that.
There you go. Danger is your middle name, I believe, right?
Nah.
How was it that you got hooked up with the folks from Fishbone anyway?
Well, I had known Chris since maybe their second gig here in '86 when they played at the Sandberg Hall.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they have a little kind of cafeteria in there, and I think we exchanged numbers back then, and so we stayed in touch throughout his involvement in Fishbone. Chris came here in 2002 to work on some music, and so that was when and he left the band in '94. So we stayed in touch on and off throughout the years. And then when they came here with George Clinton and the P-Funk tour, Mr. Seabar, dropping his name as much as I can, because he deserves it. And
shout out to Paul Seabar.
Pride of Milwaukee. Another great Paul. Paul Host, Pride of Milwaukee. Boss DJ.
All the Pauls.
Yeah. Anybody else named Paul here? Okay, cool. There's a couple others that I love dearly. So, where were we? Paul Seabar had suggested, what were we on? We're on about
The
recording.
Fishbone.
Oh yeah, the
connection.
Fishbone thing. Seabar and I took Chris out to George Webb's on 3rd Street after the show, and Angelo came along, Angelo Moore. And I'd done a gig with Angelo as in his Dr. Mad Vibe incarnation at the Cactus Club in maybe 2002. Okay. I think that's in the new documentary about him called Forevermore, M-O-O-R-E, which has been playing at film festivals in like Beloit and Stevens Point, I think. Anyway, Norwood was the one I knew least, but when we connected on the phone, he was really, I feel like Norwood has been unrepresented in this vocally just throughout his life. I mean, his vocals on Another Generation on that first Fishbone EP, wow. And so, I mean, and he's like the father figure of the group. As far as, you know, I'm a fan, I'm possessive, I create my own story for Fishbone, right? I admit that.
We all do.
But his voice sounds like that. So I wanted him to be the lead. And then he did his lead part. Chris got involved. Angelo wasn't sure about the rhythm track, and then he heard those two guys and said, I want in.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So what are you going to play for us next?
Well, I figure I dedicate this one to the obvious, which is my stepmama, Miss Penny.
All righty.
Stepmama, 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 step on. I remember it was cold. I was 10 years old. When I was told my daddy got married, the lady he had wed made him happy, so he said. His letter I read and reread, and it was scary. He brought her to grandma's and even my grandpa's. Rough exterior, disappointed meeting her. They asked me, do I wanna meet my new stepmama? I said no thanks, and I played with my Tinker toys and tanks. Stepmama, 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 step on. Mama walked into my room and asked me how you do. I said I'm doing fine, but I was lying. I said I don't wanna go. She said I know. Always be your mama, no harm in trying. The very next evening, she went out for eating. My sister and me, stepmama, new stepsister and daddy. She wasn't so bad, y'all. She even liked basketball. She had a friendly kind of face, and she wasn't trying to take my mama's place. Didn't always see eye to eye. Years went by, but you know she loved me. My sisters too, my daddy always true. Their love just grew and grew, thank God above me. Stepmama, you had such a hot job. Stepmama, steady putting up with my drama. Never would have guessed that one day I'd be blessed. And if this should happen to you, hope you love your stepmama too. Stepmama, 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 step on. Stepmama, 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 trying to take my mama's place. Stepmama, 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 stepmama. All right, once again, Rich Curran on the drums, George Ballesteros on the bass. This one is from the Alphabet, which is the one with the welders, and it was written in memory of Dr. James Cameron. In 1989, Dr. Cameron had a storefront on King Drive, but I think north of, a little bit south of Locust maybe. Anyway, it was called America's Black Holocaust Museum, and it had very, very graphic diorama in the front window, details of which I won't share because it just conjures up terror, which is what black people have endured for so many years in this country. And that was a year of tremendous Afrocentric consciousness in popular music. Not just Public Enemy, not just NWA, not just the Jungle Brothers, not just A La Soul. You know, we could go on, right? Queen Latifah, Eric B. and Rakim, Boogie Down Productions. And it was two of my buddies and I, has to be said, two of my white buddies, and we just were stopped dead in our tracks. We couldn't believe this. There was an older gentleman inside who was just closing up. I said, "What is this?" And he sat us down and he talked to us about how he had survived being murdered by a mob in Indiana in the 1930s, and that this was his vision for this to be a world, kind of an epicenter of memory and history for the Holocaust that was visited upon African people, and for hundreds of years. And so we have to salute the reopening of America's Black Holocaust Museum on 4th and North with this song. Take it, Richard! Stepping up the sidewalk, 1989. Spectacle slows my walk, Martin L.K. Drive. Who's this studious old man trying to get through to us? Who's this sidewalk soul connection? Tell me why. Tells tales of real history, takes his time, breaks right through the bigotry just by being kind. He's the studious old man getting through to us. Our sidewalk soul connection, this bright ray of sunshine. Let us down, our schools and our town. Now him we found on solid ground. What he's been through for fear of the devil. He's no huckster, he talks sense, spirit, survival, and self-defense. He put this place together for all to see. Fire storms his people weather in the name of liberty. He's the studious old man who got through to us. Our sidewalk soul connection, and he taught you and me. His earthly bondage over, how we miss that man. As this world goes older, hope we understand. He's the studious old man who got through to us. Our sidewalk soul connection, he done all he can.
Eric Blowtorch And the Bodyguards, ladies and gentlemen, on tonight's WMSC's Local Live. And Eric, I know you've been putting a lot of stuff on Bandcamp lately, which I'm sure your fans appreciate because you tend to be kind of stingy when it comes to putting your material on the internet.
Yeah,
I notice,
you've noticed.
Quality items not streaming anywhere at all, correct?
No, not in as a like the 36 track edition, which the vinyl is. It's actually only available right now online and on cassette. We have cassettes of a radio show, a fake radio show we did with Dr. B, Gabriel the Angel, and my friend Cecilia Matek, and that's called Quality Items Radio, and that has about 30 of the songs plus unbelievable hilarity.
Okay.
From Gabriel and Doc and Sil. And do you guys remember the Boogie Bang days of 20 years ago when those guys were on Barry's show?
Of course.
Yeah.
Some of us anyway.
I can't believe we got that in one room. Hats off once again to Shane Olivo for capturing that magic. And then there's the outtakes.
And so, what's your philosophy on this putting music on the internet thing or not doing so?
Oh, I'm all for it. Two people who have recently kind of nudged me in that direction are Dennis Bovell, the British producer, Lovers Rock, and a lot of post-punk stuff. He keeps telling me Bandcamp's where it's at, man. And Andy Noble, who's Kings Go Forth, Pacers, Superpowers, Thousandaires. Yeah, he helped get them going. He'll deny it to this day. Anyway, Andrew is just crazy about Bandcamp. He feels like it's just, it's the most artist-friendly, no fruit, no... Oh, wait, okay, I feel like I'm endorsing a product here. I should stop. Anyway, yeah, so I've been putting the records on there because I just found out you can do that.
All right, so you're just catching up with technology, that's all.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, the stuff was online for a while, but now there's more stuff, including the first 45, Flash Flood with Robin Plur.
And some of these releases, go way back.
Before George was born.
There was your first record that I saw on Bandcamp was what, 1990?
Yeah, that was
right?
that was my first solo joint, Shame of a Politician, which I think the studio still has. Thank you, John Blick. As Big Daddy Kane said, your name is so full of action it ought to be a verb, and as you probably know, it is. If you need any kind of pro audio gear fixed, you get it Blicked.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever when you're listening to old material like that and putting something like that online that's a couple decades old? What's that like? I mean, do you listen to it? Do you kind of cringe a little bit, or is it revisiting an old friend? Does it not seem like you? What's going through your mind when you're listening to something?
Oh yeah, there are at least two serious cringes out there. I'll let the listeners decide which theirs are, but I know mine. And that you have that initial reaction. I just a couple years after Shame and Politician, I started recording with just more players, I guess, and players who were, there wasn't just me and the guitar and me playing the drums and me playing the bass and me playing Robin Plur's Korg organ. It was, real collaboration, and these started to sound really good, like stuff people would dance to. In fact, my Revolutionary Love, which Danny Dan Fernandez from International Jet Set and Kings Go Forth sang the lead on Flame On, was played at a party in Los Angeles. And my friend Greg, God bless him, Greg Schenecker, he was DJing, and he said Enrique Iglesias and Heidi Fleiss danced to it.
Wow.
Which is pretty hilarious because I wrote that song in the absolute depths of post-romantic misery. So yeah, I mean, even the good ones can make you cringe, right?
Right.
I mean, there's some songs that are just so close to the bone. Big Youth has a song called Time Will Tell. I can't bear to listen to it since it first came out. It's just too sad.
Do you ever feel like going back and tinkering with stuff like that, re-recording it, or pulling a George Lucas and then spiffing up the special effects, adding in Jabba the Hutt, CGI Jabba or something?
I have been. There's a collaborator I'm not mentioning, a possible collaborator I'm not mentioning, who's shown an interest in some of the older tracks, but he wants all the ones with all the Jamaican artists in them, which is probably what I'm best known for, is working with Jamaican musicians, and also loads of collaborators, and hopefully bigging up Milwaukee.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd like to point out for anyone not watching that Eric is decked out in his Milwaukee Bucks best tonight.
Yeah, I've been shedding my clothes here. I might as well keep shedding, right? And please don't tell any of us what the score is or the situation. Jacob, I know you're following that carefully, or maybe not. Maybe you want to watch it on your own and experience the terror of a playoff game. But yeah, I've loved the Bucks since 1975 when I saw them play against the Knicks with Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier. Some good things about getting old.
Well, we'll hope for the best.
Yeah.
All right, how would you like to introduce this next song?
Oh, I think this is a song about the finest of all human qualities. And there's some who might disagree. Mercy, mercy, what a fine time. Mercy, the bosses and define crime. Mercy, mercy to the broke man. Mercy, collecting Sprite and cocaine. Mercy, 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 cannonball. Mercy won't change investment plan at all. Mercy, mercy is the mega bitch. Mercy, mercy is the mad dog rage. Mercy, 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 oh mercy, mercy, mercy to the human race. Mercy and destabilize a stormtroop face. Mercy, mercy when your blood pours over. Mercy to the driver in the bulldozer. Mercy, 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 oh mercy, sweet mercy, people have mercy. Mercy, mercy to the young guns. Mercy to the sons of bad master sons. Mercy, mercy on your enemies. Mercy, stop the war and stop disease. Mercy, 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 Mickey Mercy, mercy, mercy. Thanks very much. That was out there in internet land, recorded with Steph Lippert, the great Steph Lippert, singer, composer, pianist, bass trombonist, and probably a few other DJ as Grandma Matrix. And so I'd like to send some love out to Steph for being an inspiration for the last couple of years. And this next one was actually I don't like to work on commission. Actually, yes, I do. Because I'm full of bright ideas, but they usually end up on those, the 8.5 piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, letter size, fold it in half, then fold it again, and then you tear it into 4 sections, and then one of the sections becomes lyrics that you end up pasting in a notebook. I think, God, that's brilliant. I'll finish that. This one, there was no excuse not to finish because there was a wedding of a dear, dear friend, and I'm not ashamed to say it, and we didn't get paid.
You got paid in exposure, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right. Exposure. That's everybody's favorite reason not to pay someone. All right, it's called All You Lovers. Terada, Temple, Ricefield Heart, bright tomorrow with the gentle guy real smart. Love has found you and you found him too. May love surround you to last your whole life through. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la. Nicholas Paul, generous to eye, victory of the humble, brave enough to try. Honor, honor, rarest of lovebirds, unto others, living up to your words. La 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 la, la 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 la. La la la, la 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 la. Oh, you lovers, oh, you lovers, oh, you lovers, live up to your words, best of many words, rarest of lovebirds. And keep you, Nicholas and I, friends, family too, witness to stand by. Heart lovers, tread unto kiss ground, unto others, spread what you have found. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La la la, la 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 la. Does anybody else know the words of this song? La la la. If you do, come on up, RLS. La 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 la. We need a big chorus. La 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 la. I mean it. La 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 la. La 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 la. We need a tenor, Jacob. La 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 la. La 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 la. We need soprano. Let me guess, Corinne. La 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 la. Alto, Cecilia. La la. Mark first. La 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 la. Stay in that frequency. La 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 la. Keep it going, fellas. La 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 la.
feel like we just witnessed in real time the formation of yet another backing band.
What will they be called?
Oh yeah, Mark and I we've done some things before at another radio station.
Ah, there you go. Well, that's fantastic. Now, talking about stuff that you've done, this is the required question that everyone has to ask these days. What has your live schedule been like since live shows are more or less back in full swing? What's been looking like for you?
This is the first indoor gig in 3 years.
No
Oh,
kidding.
wow.
Yeah. Last summer, a couple of outdoor gigs, and that was it, really. And I had a bit of studioitis, I was busting out the hits at home. And, there's a weird safety to that. You feel like you're creating something that will inspire loads of people and outlive you and all this stuff. But really, this is an incomparable experience. And I thank you guys for that.
No, thank
Oh,
you. It's
we're honored.
Big honor, yeah.
Can we ask, what do you have on your calendar for the rest of this year that you'd like to tell people about?
Oh, let's see. I gotta be careful about the dates here. Lest we forget, at Turner Hall on Saturday, March 28th. Looking at Paul Hose for confirmation. And that starts at 5 o'clock, and it's a benefit for Music Cares. And I know the station's made ample mention of that, but I and my friend Kiana, aka Melody, will be singing a song with Clancy Carroll and Bobby Mitchell of the second generation Haskells and the Dominoes, and a drummer to be named soon. Then in June, on the 10th, Steph Lippert and I will be doing a gig together, accompanying each other on each other's songs. She'll be playing the lovely grand piano they have there, and I'll be playing maybe this Silvertone Esplanada there. And that'll be from 8 to 10:30. And I don't know if there's a cover. I think maybe. And lest we forget, there's a cover. And of course, it's going to a good cause. And for anybody who doesn't know, Music Cares takes care of musicians in real dire need, and they've done a lot of good. And I think WMSE's been a huge part of that too. Also in July, my good friend Shahana McKinney Baldwin of Highball Holiday is throwing a big to-do at Washington Park Band Shell, High Holiday Ball. Shahana's Jewish, and the High Holidays are an inspiration to her, of course, and she wants to bring her version of the party back to us, and we couldn't be gladder to have her back. Just the greatest singer I've ever heard in my life. And, I'm a big fan of Aretha and Papa Armstrong and Hugh Mundell and Van Morrison, And so we'll be doing a couple of songs there with some guests, including, I hope, Kiana, and another friend of mine who goes by the name of Midwest Honey. She will be singing with us. We'll be doing 2 originals and a Soulettes cover. Do you know Soulettes? Mm-mm. It was Rita Marley back in the 60s. Her ska and rocksteady and eventually reggae group started when she was Rita Anderson. And they had some unbelievable stuff. I'm always pestering Carol Dodd, daughter of the late Cox and Dodd, to re-release the Soulette stuff. So let's get a campaign going, right, people?
Let's hope. Yeah. We've got time for just one more song in our program, so take your pick and fire away when ready.
One more chance? Okay. I think it's a little bit more upbeat. Which one? Okay, cool. All right, this one is about, well, you'll guess it. I'm overdrawn by hundreds in my checking account. Still I've got friends who confront necessary amounts. Still I wish my doggone job paid me enough so rent don't bounce. Times like this I wish I was a mover like Lonesome Larry Hoover. I got my freedom and my name, a good game with no shame. Broke as a joke with no one to blame. Larry Hoover. Larry sold rocks around the clock and made the block through shock-a-lock. Oh, now we clock, baby, don't want to scroll. That much we know. In the end, you might never have a friend or disciples is too bad. You say he's a zero, some say a hero. Yeah, yeah. I loved a woman, so I sent her on my arrow straight and narrow. She sent them all broken back to me, COD. I love to live out of luck and tournament, so what the fuss can't buy me love and liberation. So now Larry sings the blues, and so do you, and so do you. So what's new? I sing the reds, we all get dead. On the GOD, you keep swearing you are free. Tell your friend of the free and lonesome Larry. Larry sold rocks around the clock and through the block, boom, shakalak. Whoa, now you clock, you don't want to scroll, that much we know. In the end, you might never have a friend or disciples is too many. You say he's a zero, some say a hero. Two more, one more.
Eric Blowtorch and the Bodyguards, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank our audience here at Anodyne and Walker's Point. Give yourselves a hand. Thanks for coming out tonight in this crappy weather. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you, especially for coming on a Bucks playoff night, too. Don't tell us what's going on.
We're going to find out soon enough. All right, thanks
Have a great
again,
night.
everybody. Tonight's edition of Local Live was broadcast and live streamed from Anodyne on Bruce in Walker's Point. Local Live is a production of 91.7 FM WMSE, produced by Matt Wild and myself. Audio and video engineering by Knieverland Productions. All graphics by Rock Design. Band hospitality by Transfer Pizza. Local Live is presented by Third Space Brewing. You have your home, you have your work, but everyone needs a third space. And thanks again to Eric Blowtorch and the Bodyguards for a fantastic set. Thanks a lot.
You can find upcoming guests and archives of past Local Live segments at WMSE.org. And be sure to tune in again next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for an interview with the one, the only, the great Marielle Alschwang. Stay tuned for details about next month's show here at Anodyne, and good night, Milwaukee, and go Bucks.